Morning, Javon Pera. Let's talk about recontextualizing. Often people get angry, or I'll get angry about something, and I think that my anger just comes from things not being right, things being bad, or people being bad. It's not going right for me. But really, anger, most of the time, comes from impatience. So here's the order of things, how it works is we have a position about something, or we have a desire, like it has to be this way, which leads to impatience, that it's not that way, which leads to anger because of the impatience, and then that often leads to guilt, that we got angry and we did something we didn't want to do. And then that guilt leads to us punishing ourselves, which inflicts ourselves more, which makes us more angry. It ends up being this horrible cycle. And the way out of it is often just to recontextualize it to seeing there's a lack of something instead of seeing the thing as bad or wrong. So here's an example, is that I was probably 11 years old, I think, at the time. And I had been in a really bad car accident when I was 10, and I was in a wheelchair, and I was in Disneyland, and I'm in a ride. I'm actually on the Matterhorn ride, and I'm sitting in a wheelchair on the Matterhorn ride, which is another story how I got on the ride, because you're not supposed to go those things when on a wheelchair. But I'm sitting there, and I hit the guy in front of me, his Achilles heel, with the footrest on my wheelchair. That metal part went bink right on the back of his Achilles heel, and it hurt. If you can imagine a metal thing hitting the back of your Achilles heel like that. And he got really angry really quick, and he was a big dude, long hair, really big. I'm a little guy in a wheelchair looking up, and he turns around and said, "Who did that?" And he was angry. And then he saw that his offender, his attacker, was this little kid in a wheelchair. And his anger instantly turned into sympathy. What it seemed like, because he went from "Who did that?" to "Oh, I'm sorry, kid." And he apologized. He apologized to me, the one that hurt him. Interesting, right? So what happened was, instead of seeing me as bad and the attacker, he saw me as something that was hurting and lacking. And it's a lot easier to forgive somebody that's lacking or hurting or unwhole or unwell than it is to forgive somebody and release somebody that you think is bad or wrong or attacking. So for example, I have a harder time releasing or forgiving or getting less angry somebody that I think is greedy versus someone that lacks love. Like, oh, this person just lacks love in their life, poor thing, versus that greedy, selfish jerk. It could be the same thing, but it's just seeing the same thing from the different side of things. So think about the things that you're mad at, and then think, well, what am I being impatient about? You go back a little bit, and then you think, well, I'm being impatient about that. Okay, so what is it that I have a position or a desire about that I'm being impatient about getting? And you can deconstruct the thing that bothers you so much, and especially with the people that are making you angry about, you can just see them as the thing that's lacking and forgive them because they lack. It's just like a hurting kid, instead of thinking them as an attacker, an all-powerful attacker that needs to be attacked back. Completely different thing. So who is it in your life that makes you angry? What is it in your life that makes you angry? And just realize, hey, the people, we're all doing the best we can. We all have a lot of lack and struggles, and we're all hurting in some way. Well, most of us. And we're in this together. And the positions and the experiences in life that aren't giving you what you want, well, you know what? These things that you think are going to make your life better, often you get them and you have the same exact life. And so it's not even really that thing that you think you want that's going to make your life so much better. So don't be so impatient. Learn to enjoy life as it is right now. And as you do, the anger will disappear and life suddenly gets better and you've gone nowhere. Recontextualizing.